Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to talk about being vegan in college. No, I am not currently in college, although I do get asked quite frequently, so where do you go to school? But it wasn't that long ago that I was in college. It feels like I feel so young still. But college is when I went vegetarian and then vegan. I have always had a very fast metabolism, therefore I have never really thought twice about what I was eating because it didn't really impact the way I looked. Fast forward to my senior year of college, I had really bad digestion. I only went number 2 like once a week, and I don't know how I thought that was normal looking back, but I was just like, yeah, that's just I only go once a week. My stomach always hurt after I ate, and just in general, I felt like crap. So even though like physically from the outside, I looked fine, I looked skinny, I looked healthy, inside, I feel like I was partially like rotting because I just had so many issues to do with what I was eating, but it took me a long time to put 2 and 2 together. Something finally made me think, oh, well, you know, maybe feeling this crappy isn't normal, isn't okay, and doesn't have to be this way, and maybe it's because of what I'm putting into my body. And it's amazing what you can become accustomed to gradually over time just because it just slowly becomes your new norm and you don't think twice about it. And so I decided, okay, one thing I can do is I can keep track of what I'm eating and how I feel. So I kept like a food journal diary thing of sorts, and I wish I had that somewhere. I don't know if I kept it on my phone. Really wish I still had that. But essentially what I did, or what I remember doing, is I would keep track of what I ate for my meals, how I felt directly after that, and like how often I went to the bathroom, and just things like that, kind of trying to track the problems that I was having and see if there was any correlation between what I was eating or if there was just no rhyme and reason to why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And the one thing that really stood out, that was my big problem creator, was red meat. And I literally had never crossed my mind me not eating meat. I think I had a friend that went vegetarian for a little bit. Not that it didn't make sense, but like it just didn't like impact my own personal brain. But for some reason, seeing it play out on paper in my own personal life and being able to point to something and saying, I think that's what's causing my stomach issues, because especially after I eat that is when I have the most problems. I intelligently thought, you know what? Let's go a week and not eat meat and see how I feel. That seemed like a totally doable challenge for myself, and I just was curious to see if it had an impact. And sure enough, after that week of not eating meat, it was a really drastic difference. And I thought, you know what? I can do this. I don't need to eat meat. And let's just go on and see how I feel and see if it changes even more over time. And so I think that was October. A couple months later, I want to say it was in like March, April, I was like, you know what? I feel really great, but I feel like I could feel even better. Like I feel like there's another step I can take, and I want to take that step. This was just like the start of my health journey. It's the start of like a lot of big lifestyle changes. It's what led me to get off the pill, and it's completely impacted who I am now. I don't know, I was like, you know what? We're just gonna give up animal products completely, and we're gonna see how I feel. And like I said, if you know me now, that doesn't seem like a crazy thing, but like knowing Victoria back then, like that was a revolutionary idea for me. March, April, I went completely vegan, and that summer I felt just fantastic, and it's literally the best I've felt. And there's a couple factors playing into that, because I also went gluten-free at the same time I went vegan, because I was like all in, like I want to feel as best as possible, like as good as I possibly can. Just felt fantastic. Digestion was great, like I had all the energy in the world, could take on the world sort of thing. I only had, let's see, like 2 months I think of being vegan in college, but because I think at that time I was still learning and I didn't completely do it right fully, that's what I wanted to talk about today, was if I could go back, or if I could give advice to someone that is either vegan in college now or is wanting to be vegan in college but doesn't know what to do. This isn't going to be an all-encompassing video, obviously, but I just kind of want to go through some like ideas for food, tips and tricks, whether you live in like apartments, dorms, have to be on a meal plan, or can buy all your own food. I think there is this misconception that being vegan, especially when you're young, is hard and expensive, but it's not, and I hope I can show you through like meal ideas and just talking about different things you can do, that it isn't difficult and it doesn't cost a lot of money. I think the most helpful thing is to do your research and know your options, know everything you can eat, because it's a lot. Don't be afraid to ask for something made without a certain ingredient. People are very accommodating, and often it's like, you can eat this, you just have to ask for it without cheese, or you can eat this, you just have to ask for it without. I eat such a wider variety of foods now that I'm vegan, and it has not restricted me at all. It has actually forced me to not only learn how to cook, but it has forced me to try new things. Obviously eat healthier, because when you're focusing on making sure you're getting plenty of fruits and vegetables and like nuts and grains and all that stuff, you have such an abundant diet, and it's a great thing. So let's get into it. So next I want to go through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I kind of lump lunch and dinner together because I feel like I eat similar things for both. Like I don't have meals that I'm like, I only eat for this for lunch and I only eat this for dinner. So I kind of have that group together. So starting with breakfast, the thing that I always see when I see what I eat in a day, vegan edition, is oatmeal for breakfast. And like, oatmeal is a great option. It's filling. You can add so many different things on top to make it different. I get really bored with oatmeal, and I think it's because I prefer oatmeal just plain with some brown sugar. Oatmeal is a great option. It is so cheap. And it's really easy to make. It's not time consuming. And like I said, you can add things on to make it more exciting. Toast options. Avocado toast and chickpea toast are two of my favorite things. Avocado toast is delicious. You're getting your healthy fats. It's filling. It just tastes good. Everyone likes avocado toast. And you can add stuff on top. Chickpea toast is so easy. It's probably cheaper than avocado toast if avocados are expensive for you. That's fine. Like, you don't have to jump onto the avocado bandwagon if you can't afford it, because avocados can be expensive. Chickpeas, however, you can get a bag or a can, whatever your preference is, for pretty cheap, like pretty cheap. And that combined with bread, which is also cheap, inexpensive meal. And it's really filling. So I mash up my chickpeas, warm them up. I put different spices, nutritional yeast, sriracha, all sorts of good things in it, and I mash it together, and that is the base of it that I put on top of the toast. And then you can put whatever you want on top of that. You can put veggies, you can put pickled beets, red cabbage sort of situation, whatever you want on top of that. There's so many options to spice that up as well. Like, I'm obsessed with chickpea toast, and people are sick of hearing about it, but it is a great option, and it's very inexpensive. And you can make a batch of that chickpea mash and then just keep it in your fridge and warm it up in the morning to slap on your toast, and it's a really quick, easy thing to eat. The next thing is bagels. I really wish places would just start having hummus as an option. Our grocery store that is right next door to us, they have like a bakery section and they have fresh bagels every day. It's like $2 and you can go in there and you can get a bagel, and they have hummus along with all the cream cheeses. A bagel with hummus, or bagel with avocado, or a bagel with chickpea mash. Like, there's a lot of options there. Bagels are a bit more expensive than bread, so if you have a little bit of extra money, you can go the bagel route, or you can stick to the bread route, and it's just as delicious, and it's also just bread. But bagels, way to spice it up, and you can top it with all sorts of things. Cereal is simple. It's not like, oh, I'm a healthy vegan sort of meal that you want to promote on your Instagram. But cereal is such an easy thing. Nutritious cereals, I guess, or you could do the granola route. There's so many different like things that fall under the cereal umbrella, and then just grab a carton of non-dairy milk and you're good to go, and that lasts you for a while, and that's pretty cheap as well. And you can also add berries or bananas or something on top of that if that's your style. I just like it plain. And finally, if you have access to a kitchen or a place that you can cook, you can do pancakes or waffles. You could probably, I think you could do waffles in your dorm room if you just had a waffle iron. Banana pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes, like there's so many options that are delicious. And then once again, you could just make a big batch and then make a couple in the morning and then just top it with whatever you want, maple syrup, vegan butter, however you like it. You can put berries on there. It's a little bit more time consuming and you need a kitchen, but you can do it. So, lunch and dinner. Potatoes. Potatoes are really cheap. And I love potatoes in almost every form, whether it's like a baked potato, mashed potatoes, potatoes and curry. Like, potatoes are great. They're filling. Some people don't like potatoes because they're not like super healthy, but potatoes aren't gonna hurt you, and they're really inexpensive. I really like cooking potatoes in a microwave, which I had a microwave in my freshman dorm. cooking potatoes in a microwave, and then you just kind of chop them up, and I'll either like put a little bit of non-dairy milk or vegan butter to kind of give it a little mushiness, and then I'll top it with like veggies, beans, avocado, vegan sausages, tofu. Like there's so many different toppings you can put on there, and it is delicious. Burritos. There are so many build your own burrito places out there, like Chipotle, Pancheros. There's so many different places where you can go on, and you get to choose what you put onto your burrito. Build your own burritos are a beautiful thing as a vegan, and like they're massive and filling and pretty inexpensive. I think it's like, you know, $6 to $8, and you can also make them at home for much cheaper. Pasta. Another thing that gets a bad rap as being unhealthy, but it is simple and filling, and you just saute up a bunch of veggies with it, and that gives you some vegetables in your diet as well as just having the filling pasta base. Salads. Few things about salads. Most dining halls have a salad bar, and you can load those puppies up, but I don't want you eating side salad sized salads. Don't eat little salads and expect them to fill you up, because they're not going to. And a lot of the salads that like restaurants serve and stuff are so tiny. You need to be eating like a salad the size of your head times 2. Make sure you're putting, you know, some sort of like protein, whether that's like beans or tofu. You could put rice on there, quinoa on there, veggies on there. Dressings are really important. That adds deliciousness. So make sure you're packing onto your salad all sorts of great ingredients, and that you're eating enough of it for it to be filling enough. Another option for lunch dinner is rice and veggies. This is something you can do in the dining hall. This is something you can do at home. And like all of these things you can make big batches of and then just eat on them for a while. And I think that would be really helpful as a college student, to not constantly having to be cooking and just, you know, pulling stuff out that you can reheat. You can make a stir fry, some sort of curry. There's so many great options. You can make it really simple and really inexpensive. It's filling, it's delicious. And then I just said beans. Beans are a great thing. I love beans. I eat them every day. There's black beans and chickpeas are my favorites. There are just so many different options. You can add them to salads, burritos, you know, your veggie mixtures. You can put them on toast like I do, and they have a lot of good nutritional value to them as well, and you should be eating them. But don't forget about beans. They're really inexpensive. And that's kind of what I have for the ideas, but it just goes to show, be creative, think outside the box. There's an abundance of inexpensive vegan meal options. And don't be afraid to ask if you are in the dining hall or do have to have a meal plan. Ask if there's veggie burgers available. And if there's not a lot of vegan options available, write to the school board or whatever it is and ask them. And from what I've heard, a lot of schools are very accommodating and will, you know, add in. It's really easy for places to add in veggie burgers. A lot of places have veggie burgers nowadays. If it is like a station where the cook is like cooking up each individual meal, ask them to make it a certain way. Ask them to make it without eggs or without butter or milk or whatever it is. And people are really accommodating. I remember when I was just so afraid of asking for things to be made differently. I think anymore it's pretty common to have either dietary restrictions or preferences, and you're not the only one asking for it. And thanks to Pinterest, YouTube, blogs, there are endless options and ideas and inspiration out there. There are people the same age as you in the same situation that are doing it, and they are sharing how they're doing it. And my final piece of advice is to always have some sort of like snack or bar or something very easy that you can keep in your bag, throw in your mouth when you get hungry so you don't get hangry. There are so many different ways to be vegan. There's no right or wrong way, and it's going to change as your situation changes. So just do what works for you. You're gonna make it, and you're gonna feel so much better, and life's gonna be good. Okay guys, that's what I have to say today about being vegan in college. If I could go back and like, this is what I would tell myself, or this is what I would do differently, I kind of wish I could have experienced college as a vegan. I think it would have just helped in so many different aspects if I wasn't fueled off of cupcakes and energy drinks. Like, things I could have done. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like today's content and want to see more like this. And don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead for more of me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!